Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of your favorite sports betting podcast. That's right, it is time for Jump the Sharp. Say with me, folks. It's your favorite sports betting podcast. At least maybe after last week, we finally got on board. Right at the ship, heading into the playoffs. It is NFL playoff time, Super Wild Card weekend. Holy Moses McGee, Woodman. It is the Woodman, my beautiful and talented co-host David Woody with me. I am Brian Hollywood Hagen, and I can't even, I'm not even doing the intros correctly. You know why? Because I'm just so fucking excited. David Woody, what do you say?
We love it, don't we, folks? 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, then the Monday night, which is an excellent game. Really, really, really fun weekend ahead of football. One of the most fun weeks to bet for sure on the entire calendar for all of sports for the whole year. Just a tremendous, tremendous weekend.
It's the best.
If you're into betting at all, I mean, nothing is really like the Super Bowl just because they throw up so many different weird ones that you could never get otherwise.
Yeah.
But this is about as close as you get, and in some ways better because there's just so many games,
But and you feel like you got a grasp on them too, because this is the cream of the crop of football.
Yep.
Not quite, I guess, the creamiest of the crop, but
some of them maybe not actually, right?
Right, which is why maybe you can pick and choose some W's here. Man, I'm just excited. It's just it's the best playoffs probably overall. One can make an argument, as I would, for the NHL, but for sports betting purposes, it just doesn't get better than this, and it's some good watching.
Well said, sir.
Well, next time you say something, say it in the mic. All right.
Pardon me.
Oh, it's only episode 105, David.
But I will say this too. It felt good. You alluded to it briefly, but it felt good to end the regular season on a good note, right? We went 4-2. That's a good score for us. 4-2. Any better would take 4-2. You know what I mean?
Of course.
If you could do that consistently, you're gonna make a lot of money in this business. So felt really good. It felt right to me. Honestly, it felt like okay, we've righted the ship just in time. Now let's keep our game faces on because they were already on, and let's go into the playoffs on that strong note. You know what I mean?
Playoffs?
That's right, Mr. Moore. It's time, baby. It is time. At Jump the Sharp on Twitter is where you find us, as well as on YouTube. Just search Jump the Sharp. And please, if you have not yet do so, hit that subscribe button on there. The race to 100 still going. It would be nice to get there. And of course, the Degenerate Dungeon via the Glass Cannon Network. Every Sunday? Nope. Scratch that. Every Saturday. And by every, I mean the next 2 Saturdays.
Yes.
Live on Twitch, twitch.tv/GCN Employee Lounge. That'll do it for you. And boy, you want to talk about good watching. That's where you can find us. And it is a blast. If you've yet to jump from Jump the Sharp over to check out the dungeon, you're missing out because it's just it's arguably the best time of the week for me and for I don't want to speak for the other fine folks that run the ship, but man, it's just the greatest thing. I love getting together with those guys. But it'll be Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time this Saturday. Before your wild card weekend kicks off. And same for the next week after that, because the NFL will have a mirrored slate as far as the scheduling of their games. And we don't want to jump on a dungeon and just give you on a Sunday morning and just give you half to work with. No, we want to give you some bullets in the chamber. Yeah, I mean, look at you cheersing to that with a little brown on ice. On the rocks. We'll hear about that in a second. Hey, you alluded to it. Speaking about me alluding, you're a good alluder as well. You alluded to what we did last week, 4-2. My bad. I was the one responsible for the 2. I was responsible for one of the 4 as well. But if you go ahead and take the numerator, that's all Woodman. That's all the Woodman right there. 3-0 last week.
Yeah.
Now this just in. I went ahead and said, let me just listen for a brief moment to the follow-up, the divisional round Jump the Shark from a year ago at this time.
Okay.
Because we would obviously start with a little bit of a recap and see what we did wild card style. And on Super Wild Card Weekend, the first of its kind, 2022. What did we do? We went 5-0-1 in our
Wow.
6 picks. And what did the Woodman do? Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that. We did go 5-0-1 in the wild card round, so that's something to look forward to. But I also listened to the wild card episode to see what we did in week 18, and we actually didn't go over it the whole thing. All we mentioned was that you went 3-0.
Wow. Okay.
History repeats itself.
Yeah. Hey, I hope so. Right.
I hope so. That would be a good sign for this week.
That'd be really good.
So we went 5-0-1 in the wild card round last year. This year, we're going to whittle it down a little bit. We're going to do 2 main picks each. Then we're going to bring you something fun at the end. But the main picks only for this year, because now we're with the dungeon. We want to keep keep a pick fresh for those who enjoy the dungeon. We have to keep it fresh.
You got to keep some powder dry. Give it to me hard.
Yeah, I don't think you want to throw some dry powder before you give it hard. I think you need something a little bit more, lubricated. But nevertheless,
Anyway.
All right, well, it's time, before we get to the action, for America's favorite segment. That's right, it's the playoffs version of What Are We Drinking? I already saw a little side piece, maybe. I don't know if that's Woody's actual okay, side piece. He's saying, if you watch us on YouTube, he's doing the side. It's like what Jack Nicholson did as a Joker when he did that with the TV screen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? He pushed it to the side, and he was just sitting there with his... Well, we're going to have similar smiling faces, I hope, but it's time. America's favorite segment. What are we drinking? The Woodman, as always. What you got?
A little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, you gotta get in there with a little bit of the carbonated bevs. So we're gonna do something.
Look at that again.
This one comes from a little John ski called New Holland Brewing, but it's not it's not from Holland. Yeah, they're here in the States. Do you remember? Is that upstate New York? Maybe.
I don't remember where. There might be. I've had a few New Holland brews, and I've liked every single one of them.
Holland, Michigan.
How about that?
Michigan.
Grand Rapids.
Yep. Oh, Grand Rapids, yeah. So I've had a couple of theirs too. I've not had this one before. This is new to me. I've never tried it. Okay. I'm going to try it live on air. And I'm very excited, but I am continuing my month of stouts. So we're going to
you just went ahead and kept it going.
People are doing dry January. I'm doing stout January, bitch.
Wow.
And
dude.
And it's really cool. It's a cool looking bottle. It's called Dragon's Milk.
Oh, the Dragon's Milk making another return, right? I believe on the dungeon we had a Dragon's Milk.
Did we? It wasn't me.
Or no, you know what? Scratch that. I think that's what I bought for Muscles Marinara once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe for a Christmas gift.
I haven't had it. I don't think. I don't remember having it. And it's a bourbon barrel aged stout, which means it's a stout beer, and they sit it in the bourbon barrels.
Here we go. Ooh.
And they sit it in the bourbon barrels. I don't know how long it sits in there. I mean, beer doesn't sit that long. But it's probably in there for what? What do you think? A few weeks, maybe a month or something?
Maybe. I'm not too well versed, but we'll go with that, right?
And
nice porridge.
Thank you. And you can see it's a normal stout color, very, very dark, very, very, very dark indeed, almost black. This one does not appear to be. I think they say
the darker the beer, the sweeter the hops. That's what I hear.
Is that right?
No. It's a pun that went over your head, but giddy up.
Sure did, pal. But nevertheless, it doesn't look like a very, very carbonated one.
Okay.
But many stouts aren't, as you know.
Sure. Very thick. Let's see.
It smells great.
It
smells really good. Yep, it smells really good. I definitely got a coffee, notes of coffee, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
I think it moved.
Let's see. What's the verdict here? Have you never
it's so
had?
Good. It's so good.
I love the Woody. It's so good every week. It's the best.
Yeah, it's an 11%er, so you got to be kind of you got to.
Man, I envy you that. I can't remember a time in which you bent your elbow, put a glass to the mouth, and took that first sip of something you've never had before. And I really can't remember on this show you going, "Ew, this is garbage."
Yeah,
I think that it's so good. Is literally a drop that I play every week.
the one that I had that had like a little bit of a chocolate thing, but it wasn't a stout. Do you remember that?
Mhm.
It was like
Yeah,
a
that's
chocolate
true.
pale ale. I didn't
Yeah.
love that one very much. That was fucked up.
Chocolate pale ale.
It was, dude. It was
Ugh.
something like that. But no, this is super, dude. You know, people love the imperial stouts, obviously, and like it's got that awesome coffee to it, and maybe just a little teensy bit of chocolate. I don't get any peanut butter, thank God.
Thank the fucking Lord.
And even though it's called Dragon's Milk, there's nothing milk about this. It's not a milk stout or anything like that.
Wait a second. It wasn't. I thought a dragon was milked for this. No.
It's not really made from the dragon's milk.
Well, that's fucking bullshit. God damn.
You want to look at that again?
So you didn't milk the dragon, right?
I really do like that art. Don't you think?
It is
cool?
nice. It is. It looks like a sports team logo.
Yeah, it does.
You know, like
Yeah.
for the XFL, not for like an actual good league.
The Knoxville Dragons. Or
Yeah,
something,
there you go.
You know?
The Knoxville Milked Dragons.
Oh, that would be a dirty logo, bro.
Wouldn't it? Oh, man. The field's just got splotches of white all over it. Everybody's walking with a limp.
Nobody take a black light to that stadium, you know what I mean?
No. Oh, man.
Look out.
I'm embarrassed.
Oh, I should be. Well, I'll tell you what. It's playoff time. It's the NFL playoffs, and I'm excited. As a matter of fact,
Brian, the
it's
people
getting a little hot in here.
The people want to know, what are you drinking?
Oh, good job. I'll tell you what. I got my little side piece. You know, because I'm such a load that like I know that it takes about 10 to 15 minutes on average in this show to get to what are we drinking, and I can't wait that long. So I have sipped on a little bit of a Sour Monkey from Victory. Love myself.
Oh, you love
Sour
those.
Monkey. Well,
Yeah.
dude, I've become a sour beer guy, but a sour beer snob where it's like it takes a good one for me to actually like it. And if there's a good sour out there, I'm on board. And this is still my favorite. But
Can I
this
ask
isn't-
can I ask an elementary question before you get into what you're actually
They're my favorite kind.
Is there a difference between a lambic and a sour beer? Is that the same thing?
Over my head, Bubba. I don't even know. Lambic, it sounds like a red wine to me. I know that's not what it's called, but it's around that. But other than that, you know, I'm still focusing on Milk and Dragon. So no.
we'll let the audience educate us over Twitter or something.
There you go. That jumped the shark. Let us know what you're drinking. Ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do here is you mentioned it. You're going to have some carbonation. I'm going to have some carbonation in a way as well. And let me just raise this. Ready for the fine folks at YouTube. Dun, 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 dun. So listening back to that show, that's a dimpled glass or a dimpled, I guess glass. Well, it's not glass. So a dimpled libation holder, if you will, and it's copper. Because this time last year for this very show, and look, I'm a very superstitious cat. So last year I was drinking a mule. So why mess with a good thing? And you know what I'm doing this year is a little bit of a difference, though. I'm doing it live, okay?
Ooh, we're gonna do it live.
We're gonna do it live again because you said the word carbonation, and that's what I thought about with the Moscow Mule mix that I got. So I decided it's time to do a live pour.
Do it live.
Fuck it, exactly. So we got the Tito's vodka. We got the ice with the lime in it already. Lime
Nice.
juice already squirted because you got to do the little push on the lime. You don't just throw a lime in there. You got to give it some juice, right? Oh, you know what? What am I doing here? Get like it the juice. Well, I like it the vodka. I don't know. It says 1 part to 3 parts. Guess what? Not in this town.
He's not measuring. He's just pouring it.
Just pouring, baby. And I can see right through that. And then you want to talk about carbonation. Well, it's time to break open the brand new Moscow Mule mix. Let me just, figures. Now I got to use fingernails that I bit off. Kill some time here, David.
Yeah, while you do that, let me just explain. So, Wikipedia says a lambic is a type of beer that's brewed in Belgium, in the southwest of Brussels. There.
Is there any other part of Belgium that anything would actually happen?
They've been making it there since at least the 13th century. And it differs from most other beers in that it is fermented through exposure to wild yeast and bacteria that are native to that area.
How about
as
that?
opposed to most beers, which are exposed to carefully cultivated strains of what's called brewer's yeast. So in other words, it's almost like wild beer. It's a beer that you make with whatever you find around there, and you're just like, I'm gonna ferment the hell out of this goddamn thing. And so it says it has a very dry. It's dry, which I remember. I've tried it before. Dry
Yeah.
and cidery with
Sorry.
a tart aftertaste. That's why I thought it was the same as a sour. It has a very, very sour aftertaste. I actually don't like it. I don't know why I'm bringing it up and talking about this much for something I don't like, but some people probably love it, and I wonder if you wouldn't like it because you do like the sour beers, and it is quite
maybe.
sour. We'll have to try one. We'll try one sometime, and you can let me know what you think.
I'll try anything once.
It's a beer.
The Owens ginger beer mix here. Well, now here it should be a nice carbonated pop. Hopefully, no shrapnel. Let's see what we got. Not really. It's not like opening a nice fresh Coca-Cola, but we'll go here. I got news for you. I love this thing. It is very carbonated. Do you see how much just came out of there?
I do.
You see how much? That's
Yeah.
way. I still have room, and it's at a premium. You don't just leave that thing not full. So there's room for a little bit more.
Oh my gosh!
Vodka on top.
The Tito's is going down easy tonight, buddy.
You ain't kidding. And then what we do here, you don't just go get like one of your big, cereal spoons, right? What you need to have is a nice small spoon, preferably what I have in my hand, which is a child's Paw Patrol spoon. So yes, I'm using my kid's Paw Patrol spoon as a mixer. Let me go ahead and get that on the mic. So sorry, that's actually probably a terrible thing that I just did. And let's go for the mule, the 2023 version.
I actually found it to be a very pleasant sound.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's like that ASMR. Oh,
Yeah.
baby. Oh, yeah, that mule make your bull run. Let's go. Oh, I'm on board.
He's
Just
excited.
like that. Boom!
That's
In the
all it
game.
takes. Look at him go.
Let's go. Oh, mercy. Speaking of in the game, I'm in a couple of games like real big time, like Unit Ski Plus on a couple. And I want to tell you guys about it. But before I do, it's Picks of the Week time, and it would be rude of me to jump the wood, if you will. As always, playing center field leading off, it is time for Picks of the Week. Starting us off here, the Woodman, David Woody. Playoff style.
Yeah. So look, I like a lot of these lines. Frankly, this was a tough one to pick, not because I didn't see anything I liked, but rather because I saw all kinds of stuff that I liked. So it was hard to narrow it down, to be honest. But the one that jumps out to me the most, that's just wrong. It's just not enough points. It's just not enough points here.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Yeah, it's the Bengals. The Bengals are at home against the Ravens, third string quarterback. The Ravens honestly hadn't played very well, even with Lamar. To be honest, like for the last, first couple games this year, he looked like himself. They looked like a good team. Mm-hmm. Not since, dude. It's been about 16 weeks since that looked like a good team to me. I'm really not exaggerating. Like, they really don't look good. And even their defense has been at times quite vulnerable. They're not giving up huge numbers usually, but they do sometimes, and they certainly always give up enough to lose. They've been losing a lot. It's a bad team. They don't get much going on offense at all here. The Bengals still have a pretty good defense. And they have a super ultra elite offense that probably is getting hot at the right time. These two teams just played.
Yeah. Last week, right?
Yeah. In the same stadium even, actually. And it doesn't matter really because I went back and kind of watched a bunch of highlights of the game just to make sure I had this right. Because I hadn't watched it live. It's very important. The Bengals played a completely vanilla offense, vanilla scheme, didn't do anything weird or funky on defense or on offense at all the entire game. And I know it was on purpose because they were thinking as the game went along, it was clear this was going to be the rematch this very next week. They don't want to give away too much. So I'm not worried about them. Oh, they just saw them. It'll be different. No, it won't. It won't be different. So it's right now it's -9.5. I actually took this on Monday. It was 6.5. I'm real happy about that.
Yeah, because they didn't know about the quarterbacks. Yeah,
because they didn't know about the quarterbacks. But we thought, and I certainly thought that that both Jackson and Huntley probably wouldn't be able to go. Honestly, Huntley stinks anyway. What the hell do you care? You mean he's horrible, junk. And honestly, the way Lamar was playing before he got hurt, and now as long as he's been out, even if he were in, I would take 9.5 here.
Wow.
I would take
Lamar, you're going for it.
I would.
Yeah, I don't know about that if Lamar was in 9.5.
But he's not. But he's not,
and he won't be. It's definitely so. Let me go ahead and do something here. This is fun because I think we did this a week or two ago. It's my second pick necessarily, but these are just all it's playoffs. There's not like a pick and not a pick. Like there's no order of favorites here because this is the way it goes. It's playoffs. You feel it. You dig it. Let's go. One of my picks, I should say, of the show is the under for the Ravens-Bengals game. Woodman hinted on it a little bit. There might be a little bit of pause because it's down to 40.5. I have it at 43.5 in one of a parlay that I did. I also have taken it at 40.5. That's scary. I get it. 40 points. The Bengals are in that game, Hollywood. Yeah, it's all good. Okay, because at this show, at this point in time, it's the playoffs and we're serious and we're here to win. And the under 40.5, it's a winning pick.
I want winners.
Let me just tell you this real quick. And the Woodman, some of your points there, I'm on board with. Some I'm not as much, but let me tell you why. This has dropped from 43.5 to 40.5 for a reason. Not only just the Lamar, is he going to play, is he not, but it's been bet. It's been bet down, and it's going to continue to be. This probably will be sub 40 by the time kickoff happens.
Yeah.
Baltimore played in Cincinnati last weekend, just like Woodman mentioned. The game was 27-16. Okay, yes, that puts it over 40, barely. But the Ravens, from there, because the Woodman mentioned about, you put it perfectly, because you're taking words, you're stealing thunder here. Scheme-wise, as the Woodman mentioned about Cincinnati and their offensive scheme, they barely even put out any plays that showed thought, and they put up 27 points. The Ravens were set. The Ravens were set playoff-wise pretty much. They knew that they were most likely going to be playing Cincinnati again. They didn't even have to leave the damn city. And they as well. You want to say, well, they put up 27 points, the Bengals did, against these Ravens. Yeah, but the Ravens also didn't want to go ahead and show anything on the defensive side. They didn't show anything scheme-wise defensively. Like, they played the most, you want to say vanilla, they're a vanilla team. They played the most vanilla defensive scheme they've played of the whole year. They have a bad-ass defense that's been getting hot lately. I know you said that have been struggling lately, but not necessarily. Let me tell you this. Huntley, who is on track to start before this show. It doesn't look like it's going to be Brown. It looks like now Huntley did practice today, so it looks like he might start.
Okay.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Not really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brown started last week. Huntley, here's the deal. He has started 5 games down the stretch after Lamar's injury for Baltimore. They actually went 3-2 in that span, believe it or not.
Wow.
The most points, because it's weird. You think the Ravens, that they've just been really fucking, gasping for air.
They've been really bad in the games I've seen.
Yeah, they look bad, but they still have a sneaky way of winning games.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're winning this game. I don't mind your pick on the line there.
Yeah.
But the most points, okay, so Huntley, 5 games, right? He started 5 games. The most points in those 5 games, like in one game, what do you think, Woodman, is the most points put up in one game? I'm talking total. So the other team, too. There's 2 teams playing this game. In the 5 games Huntley started, the most points were blank.
50?
No, 30. 30 in 5 games. So it never went over 30 points in any game and I'm not talking about the Baltimore Ravens. I'm talking about the total of the whole football matchup. Not one game in the 5 games Huntley started went over 30 points, okay? He's just good enough to move the ball a little bit and then punt. That's basically this Huntley cat. Tyler Huntley is not anything to write home about.
Oh, no, he stinks, dude.
Right? But and also he's going to be nervous as fuck. And if it's this other Brown, if it's Anthony Brown from Oregon, the rookie, then it's going to be even worse probably. But that might be even better for Woodman's line if Brown starts. But Baltimore's D, led by Roquan Smith, who just got a huge extension, is playing out of his fucking mind. They're just They're really good when they want to be, and I just like Jim Harbaugh as a coach. I think that this will be competitive, not necessarily. I don't know. The 9.5 worries me a little bit. I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you because you're my boy, and I made the mistake. Every show, I parlay all of our picks. I parlay my picks, and I parlay your picks. Last week I didn't, and I fucking wish I did. My man. But I just like this under. I know it's 40.5 in a playoff game. I really think the way that the Ravens D's playing and the way that they play like nuts out hardball sometimes, I think that the Bengals offense is going to be neutralized, and I believe that the Ravens are going to. I don't want to say keep it close after what you just said, but I think that this is going to be a closer game than people think, and a low scoring game. That's the more important thing as far as my pick is concerned.
I mean, look, it's an easy one. We'll both be right if the Ravens can barely score, right? We'll both be right. You know,
this would be a hell of a payout if you did a reverse on this, which means you pick the total and the line, because you're going to say 9.5 Cincy and the under 40. Like, hey, 30-10 still works, so it could happen. But giddy up. A lot of talk about this game on Jump the Sharp. How about that?
Yeah,
I think there's a chance both of these lines hit.
I do, honestly. Like, that's kind of how I see the game finishing up. Like, the final score might be like something like 21-3.
Well, let me do something here.
Like, doesn't that sound right? Like, don't you think like the Ravens might just score like 3 points in this game?
I was about to say I could see a 20-7 win in this game.
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and show you what I just looked at a couple hours pre-show here. Here are the Huntley games. Ready? Versus Denver, they won 10-9. At Pittsburgh, they won 16-14. There's your 30 points.
Right, I saw that game.
At Cleveland, and this might be more your style, they lost 13-3.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
Home against Atlanta, they won 17-9. And then Pittsburgh once again. So look at 3 of these 5 games are divisional opponents.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. This last Pittsburgh game, they lost 16-13. So, this could happen both ways. I kind of dig that. Really like the under. That's basically where I'm at.
Yeah, I like both picks, to be honest. I like them. I think this is how I see it going.
That'd be a nice payout too. That'd be a nice payout. To just parlay those two.
I'm
Same
doing
game
it, buddy.
style.
Well, no, I got to. I'm gonna throw in a third leg. I don't know what it'll be. I'll do something that's real safe.
Oh, you and your third leg. I mean, I can't stop
Give it to me hard.
All right, second pick for the Woody Man.
Second pick, I'm going money line.
Oh.
Get me back on that Jag wagon, baby.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do it, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've all seen enough now from these Chargers, right? We get what they are. Plus, Bosa, I guess is he out for sure? Is it not official?
I don't think he's out for sure, but he's pretty much
he's definitely
a decoy.
Definitely banged up, decoy. Not going to be himself. Mike Evans looked like he broke his back. Mike Evans, Michael Williams, excuse me.
Yeah, he'll play, but but that was stupid, dude. Yeah, okay.
Also,
I don't want to say too much because I might be talking about this Saturday morning. Let me real quick. Joey Bosa good to go for the wild card.
Oh, he's going to play. Okay, fine. Yep. But it could be decoy city because he's definitely not 100%.
Listen to the 3 injuries that are the biggest. That it looks like they'll all play, but they're all fucking injured. Joey Bosa, Mike Williams, and Rashawn Slater, their Pro Bowl offensive line. They're all banged up. And these are very important positions here.
Well, the O-line, they really have had trouble at times this year. A lot of trouble.
All year.
All right, they really need him. So the Chargers have the 9th worst defense by pretty much any metric you want to say. Bottom 10 defense by every metric against the offense, against the run, against the pass, and traditional things like points per game. They're 9th worst.
They're the worst team against the run since I believe the 50s.
Yeah. Travis,
that's not a joke.
Travis Etienne's going to be able to do whatever he wants. I actually think Trevor Lawrence, coming off of that very bad game, is due for a real big bounce back. He's a good player, and they were fortunate to win that game despite how bad, especially he played. The whole team kind of wasn't great, actually, but he really was bad. And I think I kind of started to believe in him during
Mm.
their hot streak. I think I know you did too.
Yep.
Or I thought you did.
No, I totally do.
I think the whole NFL watching fan, I think all NFL fans got to see. I mean, dude, just the way he played in that Cowboy game, if that doesn't show you something, you know,
Yep.
and I'm not saying he will definitely do that every game for the rest of his career. He won't. He just didn't, right? In week 18, he wasn't good
Right.
against the Titans. So there's no guarantees, but you're asking, you know, I'm placing a bet. I don't think that the Chargers are probably on paper, are they more talented? I guess maybe kind of like definitely not on the road.
Yeah, on paper, if they're 100% healthy.
I guess if they were 100% healthy and if they weren't on the road, like if it's a neutral site or something, I could see it being more of a pick 'em or even giving the Niners, the Chargers a very, very small edge. But I don't think it should be right now. The line. So by the way, I'm taking the money line. I just want the Jags to win.
Yeah,
the game.
plus 120.
Plus 120. But the line, if anyone cares, right as we record this, is plus 2.5. So
which is going up for the Jaguars. Like this was at 1.5 a couple days ago. Like this is boggling my mind. How this isn't at the minimum a money line pick 'em. I don't understand.
I guess because people have seen Justin Herbert do it more times than they've seen Trevor Lawrence do it. They've seen Austin Eckler do it more times than they've seen Travis Etienne do it. But like, dude, like this is just a bad matchup for the Chargers too. Like, you know, I don't think they don't match up well with the Jags. The Jags are very happy to put the ball in Travis Etienne's hands 22 times and
even JaMychal Hasty can give you a boom pow right
course,
out, you know?
or just to give him a breather or whatever. Like, you know,
sure.
it's going to be, I just think it's not a good matchup at all. And I honestly think, to be honest, this is like maybe a little controversial, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not so sold on this Chargers coach. Was it Staley?
Dude, this is not controversial. So
I'm not sold. Whereas I think Dougie P is a pretty darn good coach, pretty well proven at this
Super
point.
Bowl. Come on, dude. This whole thing is,
to me, this is a good bet. I like that money line. I love that I'm getting plus 120. Tell me if you dare. That's my pick.
I am going to just pretty much give an extra pick right now, but this was, and I don't want to rehash anything come Dungeon Saturday, okay? You're going to hear this on Friday, and that'll just, start getting you wet. What? And then you'll get the Dungeon on Saturday morning. My Dungeon pick, the one I held in the holster, was Jags plus 2.5 by fucking far. And I'm just going to give it now with the Woodman. Count that. I'll fucking jump on the money line train too because you're getting plus 120.
They're gonna win. They're gonna win this game.
I said at the end of that Jags game, for them to win that game, and make the playoffs in the style that they did, which AKA means shit ass offense. Trevor Lawrence missing like practice throws in a red jersey kind of style shit, like ridiculous. He will bounce back. I have something to talk about in my next pick. That might say that maybe watch that a little bit, but he'll bounce back. The coaching thing is such a great call by you. I thought about this week. This is the second year in a row that this Brandon Staley cat. I honestly think if they lose this game, he might get fired.
Wow.
He has done two bonehead things in 2 straight years of Week 18. Last year was when he called that stupid penalty or stupid timeout against the Raiders, and the Raiders were like, "Yo, dude, we were totally cool with going overtime or whatever it was," and he's like, he called a timeout for no reason, and then they kicked the field goal, and the Raiders went to the playoffs.
Yeah,
and it was like, "What are you doing?" And then he came up with some bullshit excuse that didn't make any sense.
His excuse afterwards was so dumb.
It was so dumb. And then this year, he plays his starters for the whole game. Basically, it doesn't matter, and they lose their best wide receiver.
And
like this dude, based on just idiocy, might honestly, if they lose this game, especially in fantastic fashion, like if they lose by 10 points or more, I'll call it right now. Brandon Staley's out as Chargers head coach.
Yeah.
Like that would be 2 years in a row that motherfucker screwed you playoff time. Anyway, I do think compared to Dougie Peterson. That you got like those are two different sides of the spectrum there, man. I mean, you got a coach that obviously this team has bought into. A little bit of a Barry Horowitz pat on the back for me by calling Jags plus 750 winner of the AFC South because they were bringing in a Super Bowl winning coach with a team that has a ton of talent but no direction, no daddy. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
father figure.
Yeah.
You're going to tell me Doug Marrone and fucking that idiot from Ohio
Urban
State?
Meyer.
Yeah, that's not a father figure right there. I mean, you need someone to come in and look up to a little bit with experience. And, if this was to come down to just personnel, players-wise, like on the field, I was already on the Jags based on how they got it. Like, when a team like that sneaks into the playoffs, they're not going to play like that again in the playoffs. They're going to come out firing. But then on top of that, then I look at the coaching, and it's like, man, it's a no-brainer Jacksonville here for me. So I dig it, fella.
And I also would just say like again, I think they'll be all fired up coming off the way that they played bad and all that. And Dougie Peel have them prepared and all that stuff. I also think though, like I wouldn't be on them if I thought the Chargers were a great team, right? This is also just a bet on like I just don't think the Chargers are very good, and they're kind of limping in. Like they haven't played all that well in the second half of the season. Herbert, I mean, that's another thing about Mark on this guy, Staley. 2 years there, he has not gotten the most out of Justin Herbert. That guy could be so. His numbers could be so much better.
Justin
they could
Herbert's
have so many
gotten
more
the
wins.
best out of Justin Herbert. He's done it himself. That dude's a fucking baller.
He's a beast. He's a beast, and he maybe could single-handedly wreck this pick because he's that good. But
true.
My bet
he needs protection to do that, and they don't fucking have it.
No, I don't think they do. And he needs some people to catch the ball. And other than Keenan Allen, I don't see too many guys around. So.
Yeah, man. All right, we'll put that game to bed. But yeah, I dig it. I did think it's I just think it's the public thinking, looking and seeing that Jacksonville logo, be like, oh, the Jags, they suck, right? Why are they in the playoffs? No, dude. And then people see the Chargers logo and are like, oh, they're a great team. LaDainian Tomlinson's a great player. Like people don't like the public's stupid sometimes with these picks, but move the line, keep going, get it to 3.5. I'll keep pounding it.
I'll throw more at it. That's right. All right, what do you got, bud? What do you got?
All right, here we go. Let's go to a game we haven't touched yet. It's a fun little game, by the way. I mean, this is really exciting. It's the only, besides the Chargers, Jaguars, Cowboys, Bucks too. But this is the only one that Vegas has slotted at this line. And from what I understand, out of all the games as I look up and down, it's probably the only one that came out at this line and has stayed at this line.
It has
not moved.
Nope.
And that would be the Giants-Vikings game. And it is I've been at Vikings -3, which to me, it's like saying these teams are even because that's what you do. You say that the home team -3, the away team +3, neutral field would be a money line. And then if the Giants were home, it'd be -3. These teams are not even. I'm sorry. They're just fucking not. Okay. They're not even. This is not, I'm sorry, Troy, but it's Vikings -3. Like, I'm surprised that Vikings or Dolphins didn't come out of Woody's mouth on Jump the Shark, but he's growing up. He's learning as we go. But I'm the one who still keeps picking the Vikings after he stopped. But I can't help myself because this one's too easy. I know Minnesota won by 3 at home 3 weeks ago against the very same Giants team. Yeah. But playoffs are a different animal, okay? I'm really looking at one thing, and I mentioned when I was talking about the Trevor Lawrence and the Justin Herbert thing that I would have a point to make on my next pick, and here it is. Playoff rookie quarterbacks, not rookie quarterbacks, playoff rookie quarterbacks just do not adapt well to the playoffs the first time they get there. But the thing about the Chargers-Jags game is there are 2 playoff rookie quarterbacks. Herbert's never started a playoff game, neither has Lawrence. So that, to me, cancels out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put that mentality towards that game. Give it to me. Give it in a way. I almost said this, by the way.
Give it to me hard.
And I will, okay? But there's a guy that has played some playoff games before. Whether or not he's been great or not, doesn't matter. But there's a guy that's played playoff games. His name's Kirk Cousins. You like that? There's a guy that hasn't played any, and his name is Daniel Jones. And, doesn't that just fit the bill for a cat who's, struggling in his first playoff game? Like, he looks like, I mean, this to me, I'm going to make a prediction. I've already did one bold-ass prediction, and I didn't even know we were going that way on the show, that Brandon Staley's out of a job this year. But my second one is this is the last game Daniel Jones plays in the blue. I think that I'm not saying they're going to get blown out or whatever. I just think he's going to struggle out there. It's his first playoff game. There's a different level in the playoffs, and the nerves are at times 1,000. Hollywood, give me a little bit of backup here. I don't know really if I can make a bet just based on that. Well, this whole fucking game for me is literally based on that, the quarterback position. I know Kirk Cousins isn't necessarily like fucking crazy the man, but
I'm the man.
let's go to last year. Let's take it to the instant replay of the 2022 January playoffs for the 2021 season. Here we go. There were four. There's a lot this year too. There were four rookie playoff quarterbacks. This doesn't mean that they were rookies. For one of them, it does mean he was a straight up rookie. But I'm talking about quarterbacks playing their first playoff game. Ready for this, Woodman?
Yes.
You like this shit. You ready for this? You're going to like this.
I do like this.
This is your style. Let's take a look. For example, 2021 season. Derek Carr started his first ever playoff game in 8 years with the Raiders. And they played Cincinnati. Took the L 26-19. Okay? Mac Jones, an actual rookie, but also a rookie playoff quarterback last year, played the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round. Took the L 47-17.
He looked absolutely awful. He looked like he'd never played before.
Jalen Hurts, a rookie playoff quarterback, took a 31-15 loss to Tampa Bay.
Easily his worst game in the NFL. He looked
really bad.
He looked so bad that I told you I never wanted to see him play another game. And I meant it because he looked absolutely atrocious.
And I did too.
He looked so bad, dude.
That last year at that time, that me and you questioned, I think that you asked me, that's it, right? Like people understand that. Like the Hurts backers, they get it now, right? And I was like, I don't think they will. But good for them.
Yeah.
So Carr, Jones, Hurts, Kyler Murray.
Oof.
Was a playoff rookie quarterback last year. How about a 34-11 loss to the Rams? So
Yikes.
You're talking spank jobs.
Yeah.
Except for Carr, 26-19, that's still 7 points. This line's at fucking 3.
Yep.
I know Kirk Cousins isn't the most seasoned quarterback in the history of the NFL or even damn near close to anything that really has mattered in the playoffs, but he's got that experience, and I just like Vikings to put on a show here. Another little side piece. Carr, Jones, Hurts, Murray. All of those motherfuckers were on the road. Where's Daniel Jones? On that train to Minnesota. So give me mini -3. I do not understand why this is acting like these are even teams. I don't get it. One team, I kind of feel like Minnesota's a little pissed. Don't you think they're not respected enough? I think they're a damn good team.
I think they feel that way, and so, but I'll give you an X's and O's reason why I think this is a great pick. Even though I can't make it myself, because again, I've been burned too many times by the Vikings. I will not do it. I mean, I'll tell you, but I won't make it one of my own officials, right? But I love the pick, and it's for an X's and O's reason, which is the way that other teams have beaten the Vikings this year, or at least like in the case of the Bills and some of these other games where the Vikings wound up actually winning, the Colts, Vikings wound up winning, but the other team put up a lot of points and really almost had them. The way that's been happening mostly is throwing the ball deep. That's really they don't have, the Vikings do not have a great pass rush. Excuse me.
Yeah, they have two really good pass rushers. They just don't have a good pass rush. It's weird.
Well, it's just the two of them, and it's not enough sometimes. Like if you
Absolutely.
put enough guys, and then also you have like the tight end block one of them, right? And then the other piece to it is they don't have good cover corners, and so I guess they started the year with them, but they're hurt, right? So if you look, the numbers really show it. The teams that have put up a lot of points or beaten them have mostly done it by throwing deep. The Giants haven't done that like once this whole year. They don't do it. They just, Jones, for all of the things that people make fun of about him, the stupid fumbling and the tripping and stuff, and all the kind of idiocy. And he has that kind of derpy idiot. He's got like an idiot's face,
Wow. Look at you go right at him.
But honestly, that's not neither here nor there to me. And those are just one-off mistakes and whatever, right? People get better. And I don't think there's no problem with his arm. The dude has a big league arm. No issue there, right? The issue is that they have designed an entire system, and all year they've basically every game they've won is because they hide his deficiencies, the things that he's not good at. which is standing in the pocket and throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah.
Right?
Or being good looking, apparently.
Well, he's not handsome, but he's not going to throw. I'm just saying, like, as a matchup,
Can't all be the Woodman.
as a as a matchup, it's not the right matchup for the Giants. I think the Giants have some things going for them this year, right? They really do. I think I've said before, I like the coach. I think they have that dog in them. They have a little moxie, a little swagger.
It's a good start.
Their defense was very good early in the year and is still okay. It doesn't look as good.
Their secondary is brutal, and
secondary's kind of brutal.
I'm going to talk about this game a little bit more.
Jefferson's going to torch the hell out of this team.
I'm going to talk about this game a little bit more in a dungeon prop wise.
They don't have any answer for Justin Jefferson. Nothing.
I'll put one more. I'll put a little cherry on top. Thanks to our boy David Vegson on Twitter at Lasius. He shout out Woodman on Twitter saying that, about the Vikings. And after what happened last week, he said, "I told you, Woody." He said, "Vegas knows when the Vikings will win." That being said, Vikings early 3 points favorites against the Giants next week. 12-0 so far in the year when Vegas says the Vikings are favored. And then the cherry on top, our boy puts hashtag give it to me hard.
Give it to me hard.
Come on now.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, very cool. But great knowledge, great points there, and makes me feel even better about this. Vikings
12-0,
-3.
geez.
I want to look something real quick, and I'm not trying to be like totally on board with this. Depending on the juice, but if I could do game lines, do an alt, I wouldn't mind doing an alt 9.5 here and just seeing what I could get for it. Alt 9.5 plus 225. It doesn't really pay off enough. I'll just take the -3 at the -110.
Yeah, if it was like plus 400, you'd have to think about it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do something funky. Maybe I'll talk dungeon style this Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern on Twitch there. But I might have some funky little lines. Like, I mean, who's to say? Jags -2.5, and then Vikings -6.5 or something. You know what I mean? We can have some fun. But those are our 4 picks of the week. We got a funky little dichotomy going on at the in Cincy. Bengals on Woody's side at -9.5. I like Ravens Bengals under 40.5 for the game. Don't be scared. I know. Jags money line for the Woodman at +120, and I'll take Vikings -3. Now, I told you we're going to do something fun before we end the show, but I didn't tell Woody I'm going to do something else before we end the show.
Ooh.
And we'll get to that fun thing in a little bit, but I'm going to have some fun too because folks that have been with our show for a little while, I know we've had some nice crossover from just new listeners or the dungeon folks that came over from the Nash. What's up? But, for the first 2 years Woody and I did this show, there was a really very successful segment called the Easy Teasy, right? That I would do. And man, did we kill it. And last week I got the hunch, week 18, let's bring it back. Because the reason why it wasn't very prevalent this year is, man, I went 0-5 to start the year. No dice. You got to know when to pull the plug sometimes. And I did, sprinkle little jimmies on top of that Sunday to try like week, 12 or whatever. It didn't hit. You got to take your medicine sometimes.
Man's got to know his limitations.
Can we get Woody back there? I thought Michael Clark Duncan was dead. So
it's supposed to be Clint Eastwood. It's Dirty Harry. No,
see,
that one? Okay.
Pop culture and me don't really get along, and I know I guess Dirty Harry is a pop culture.
1970s pop culture.
It's still a movie, unless it's an animated movie nowadays. I got nothing.
What about Spaceballs? You got to like Spaceballs.
Love Spaceballs.
Okay, there we go.
Last time I saw it, though, I was probably like 9, but I watched it 100 times between 7 and 9 years old. Man,
we'll do that as a Twitch. We'll live stream us watching Spaceballs and we'll comment and laugh together.
It'll be like Mystery Science Theater, kind of. Yeah. We won't do that. We'll find something else to watch.
We will not do that.
But the Woodman thinks we will. You never know.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
We'll see. I could be talked into anything, really. I told you I'd do anything once. What? All right. So that segment's called the Easy Teasy. Week 18, I brought it back, and we hit. And you know what I do when it's Easy Teasy and it hits? I get excited because I get to do it again, playoff style. But what do I always do? What's something that I always do when something works? Do I just keep it like that, or do I just kind of try and take it a little overboard?
Tease me, Daddy.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna put here this thing.
Oh my God.
Mm. Woo! All right. I'll tell you, the clear liquors are always the ones that get you the most.
It's like all Tito's in there.
It's Tito's and ice. I was never a vodka water guy, but throw a little lime in that because I'll tell you what, I barely put any of that fucking mule mix. Easy teasy.
Yes.
3-legger. The Woodman
Okay.
was talking about his third leg earlier. I'm going to give you a third leg, and boy, is it going to be girthy. Here we go.
Ooh, look out.
I'm doing this as a big time tease. I'm taking this 7-point style, and you'll see why. There's a couple of reasons why here. Actually, just one, but it's plus 130, 3-leg super teasy, 7 points on. So you got to change that on DraftKings. A teaser is defaulted to 6 points. Go ahead on DraftKings, change that to 7. Plus 130. Here we go.
All
I
right.
think the Woodman will be on board with this first piece. Jags plus 9.5.
Hell yeah.
Fucking right. So we don't need to talk about that at all. The next one is a team that was almost a pick at its original line here. But might as well give me a little bit of a blanket here, security blanket wise. Tease Buffalo down to minus 13.5, down to 6.5. There's why I wanted that 7. That 7-point teasy. Just in case.
In case
Just in
they win
case.
by a touchdown, yeah.
Just in case. I like that 13.5 though. I think that this
I like it too.
I think there's going to be bloodshed. But
It was almost a pick, honestly. It was almost a pick.
Yeah, me too. So Jags plus 9.5, Buffalo minus 6.5. And then let's go to Monday night. And when you're getting 7 more points, go ahead and go take that team, baby. Take the team that's already getting that points. It's just like the Jags kind of deal. I mean, it mirrors itself on a spread. It kind of mirrors itself. It's weird because it's. I talked about the Jags Chargers being 2 rookie playoff quarterbacks. Now you got 2 like seasoned veteran and the best of all time quarterbacks. But if the Bucks lose, they're not losing by a lot. So give me Bucks plus 9.5. Like Tom is not going to get fucking rolled over. This very well may be 14-3 Dallas going into the fourth quarter. Tom will get it back. He'll get you at least that touchdown, if not fucking win the game. By the way, but give me the 9.5 on Tampa. That's Jags plus 9.5, Buffalo minus 6.5, Tampa plus 9.5 at plus 130. Just something to have fun with. If you have some dough. It'll be fun to have something to root for going into Monday night. And, I dig that TC, and I'm looking forward to it.
If people watch The Dungeon and if they tell me, or even if they just tell my lock only, then they'll have something to root for on Monday.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what.
And I'm not going to say you got to tune in.
You want to talk about tease me?
Yeah, that's
you're teasing people.
Hold on, I'm teasing you, bitch.
Let me give a shot at this. Tease me, Daddy.
Yeah.
That's a little bassier.
Seriously, that was really great.
I need to clip you saying it and me saying it, and then put them at the same time and see if we can kind of like pentatonics. Go fuck yourself. Me and Woody can take you down with the teases. You know what I mean? Do you want to have some little fun on the way out?
What do you got? You got something? Oh, yes. I have something too. Yes.
Yeah. We figured let's do something different here.
Yes.
Future style for the playoffs. I mean, if you dig your futures picks, your players props and all, the Dungeon's where it's at. I told you how much we love doing a show, but it's a complete different format, and it's just so fun. By the way, for hardcore fans of the show, you know this, but Jump the Shark was originally planned to be a prop-only podcast.
That's right.
And you know what, Woody? Fucking thank God, man.
Yeah.
So what we did was we got together, or we almost got together that first Thursday to record, and we realized player props are barely even put up for the NFL until late Friday, Saturday, sometimes not till Saturday night.
That's right.
So we couldn't record that. So I said, we got to do a straightforward pick 'em. And at the time, you were super novice. You were like, how do I, what even, I don't know. I've never really done that before. And we killed it for 2 fucking years.
We did great.
but I love being part of that dungeon because we get to get our kicks on that, the morning of kind of deal. It's awesome.
It's awesome because we record it the morning of all the games, all the props, pretty much. Sometimes the late games, we can't find everything we want, but pretty much anything you want, you can grab it, and it's been really, really fun. We've actually made some money doing that. I think tailing each other, especially a lot, on there.
No, I don't think we made any money on the dungeon this year, to be honest with you. But no, I'm kidding. The dungeon has been, if you could pick and choose and find the big time W's.
Yeah,
we definitely had a good time.
Maybe you're right.
For sure.
Overall, maybe it's been tough. This show's been better.
It's starting to hit you now. You're like, wait a second. No, but no. I think someone put it perfectly on Reddit on the Glass Cannon thing. They were like, it's a tremendous show. Just don't tail any of their picks. It's awesome. What we're going to do, though, have a little fun, a little future piece. We want to have a little prop sesh here on Jump the Sharp. And we're going to give you our exact Super Bowl predictions and the odds that would pay out for that said prediction.
So I'm going to tell you what to do, right? So if you guys are on DraftKings, what you do is you click on NFL, and then you click on Team Futures. You have to scroll over to the right, and you'll find Team Futures. And then underneath there, you'll find a category called Super Bowl Exact Result. And that's where we
don't you fucking understand?
And that's where we got these numbers from.
That's right. And that's what we're going to do. The exact result. Let me see if this has changed.
And I'll just say one more thing, which is...
Should apologize. Jizz. That's the one more thing you want to say? Jizz?
You should probably try to do this. If you want to bet this, I would say after the games this weekend, there would be no point in doing this. The juice of it is going to drop by so much that it's probably you're better off just going with the one team that you think is going to win and do that. You know what I mean? So if you're going to do this bet, I would do it now before these games this weekend.
And I want to add something here for you, Woody. We're going to give our Super Bowl prediction and the exact result, and then we're going to say what the odds are, both of which I believe we've already have bet them individually.
Indeed.
And this is something that I'm just coming up with on the fly, but I think we should do pick like a random one that we don't think will happen, but we could see it happening.
Oh.
Do you have the odds in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, who is winning the Super Bowl and who is losing the Super Bowl, David Woody, and what would that pay?
I'll tell you why I think it's the best bet. So if people are looking, or if you're not looking,
are you doing this? Is it based on value or what you think will happen?
No, my actual pick is what I think will happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to think of because the top, I don't know, 6-7 of these are so close in juice, right? I really wanted to try to. I wanted to think. You said you told me you gave me this assignment to do, and I said I said to myself, well, how do I? You don't want to say
Chiefs over the Eagles.
If the juice is not relevant, then I want to think about what's the most likely outcome and how do I get there? And what I came up with was it's not the Chiefs over the Eagles because even though they're the two teams that have buys and therefore it really should be the best odds, they're not the two most complete teams. So I think the highest odds in my mind are give me the two most complete teams, the one most complete team in the NFC and the most complete team in the AFC. And the most complete team in the AFC is definitely the Bills.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I like the Chiefs, and I still think Mahomes is a friggin' wizard, and I prefer watching him to literally anyone else in the NFL, and I think maybe has a chance to go down as the greatest of all time. I love him. I mean, I really am not in no way is this a vote against Mahomes or Reed. But their defense really leaves a lot to be desired too. They're gonna get not. Here's the problem: if them and the Bills played each other on a neutral field tomorrow, and both teams were perfectly healthy, I think you'd be crazy to bet on the Chiefs to beat them. I do.
Wow.
You'd be crazy because
Hmm.
both offenses are great, but one defense is really good and the other one isn't so good, dude.
Wow.
So for me,
then crown their ass.
just in my opinion, right?
Let
in
me
my
just see.
opinion,
Do you have balls enough to mention the Bills as a Super Bowl participant and to pick the NFC team to beat the Bills?
no.
Yeah,
No.
you definitely have. Yeah. Yep.
No, I don't. I have the Bills to beat the Eagles. Those are the two
Okay.
most complete teams in the NFL. Those are the two Death Stars, right? When things are going right for the Eagles, when Hurts isn't rusty and her shoulder doesn't hurt, the Eagles can beat you.
Did you say her shoulder? That's
Hurts, Jalen Hurts.
I don't know.
The Eagles can beat you on with their offense in so many different ways. They can. I mean, just this year, they've beaten teams by just running. They've beaten teams by throwing deep. They've done everything in between, right? They've just they have this ability because of the personnel, because of the talent, and because the offensive line is, I think, still the best offensive line of the game. They really
Banged
can
up,
kind
but
of
yeah.
they can pick their poison, for what they
Okay.
want to do to a defense. The Eagles. I'm assuming Hurts gets over his rustiness and doesn't have any lasting damage to his shoulder. But
Yeah.
I think if I look at all these, that's the most likely odds. It's plus 1,400. So you could do $10 and you win, $140.
Yep.
That's not bad.
Let me look on FanDuel real quick to make sure. But yeah, DraftKings has been killing it with FanDuel for Super Bowl.
I know
futures.
there are people who would say that the Niners are actually a more complete team.
Yeah, it's 1,200 on FanDuel. So sorry, got.
Yeah, there are people who would say the Niners are a more complete team than the Eagles. That's not correct because of Brock Purdy, right? It's a huge. He is a huge. He is a problem.
He's
waiting,
a huge.
He is a problem waiting to happen,
dude.
To that team,
like 1,000%.
If he just gets exposed just a little bit, it's over. It is over. And
yeah, can I use that to bounce mine
ahead.
off here?
Go, please.
Yeah, people are going to think this is fucking insane, and I get it. But just tell me this here. Just close your eyes for a second, ladies and gentlemen. If you're listening to this in the car, don't do what I just said. Just close your eyes for just give me 15 seconds here. Close your eyes right now. Let's go to the NFC, okay? As an Eagles fan, with the offensive line banged up, Jalen Hurts, banged up, I'm just not going to go there with them. I would love it if they get to the Super Bowl. But then you look at the Niners. Well, then if the Eagles aren't going, it's the Niners, right? What he just said. Dude. Fucking Brock Purdy. Do you see Brock Purdy in a Super Bowl?
No.
Okay. Now, that means the whole entire other NFC is open.
Yeah.
And this is not crazy, folks. This is not crazy. The Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl this year, but they will beat the Minnesota Vikings. They have the offensive fire. They don't have a defense. It doesn't matter. Neither does Kansas City. This will be the first Super Bowl with an over in the 60s, okay? With the over-under set at 60.5. It's Chiefs, Vikings, Super Bowl 56, I believe.
That would be fireworks for sure.
Plus 6,000 if you want to pick it exactly. Chiefs to beat the Vikings. I'll tell you what would that line be? Minus 8.5?
Where is it in Arizona this year?
Yeah. Nope. It's going to be just balls out. No fucking weather.
Yeah.
All I know is the Vikings are going to wipe it with the Giants. And then it's whether they go to Philly or they here's what I foresee. And shout out to Paul Charchin, by the way. I didn't even think about that, but our boy Charchin in Minnesota. I foresee Minnesota going to San Fran, and then it's Brock Purdy. Look at what happened last year. Do people remember what happened last year? Both 1 seeds were sitting at home waiting for the second round and got beat.
Yeah.
Not saying both are going to happen this year, because I do think the Eagles make it to the NFC Championship game, but I could see the Vikings beating the Eagles in the NFC Championship game at Lincoln Financial Field in South Philadelphia. I'm not rooting for it, But yeah, that's going to be my official pick: Chiefs over the Vikings in the Super Bowl. I just don't see the sexy pick. We'll take the disrespect. Go ahead.
I just put $8 on it to win $480.
My man pots and pans.
I love it. It's
How about
fun.
that? I hope it's the Birds. Fucking A. Come on.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Oh yes. I will make that trade. Right. I'll make that trade right now. You have my $8, and my Birds get to go to the Super Bowl. I'm good.
Take it.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have futures on so many teams that it's hard to think that I won't make some money on the Super Bowl this year. But one of the teams, by the way, are the Giants. But I do think that the Giants lose to the Vikings, and then I can't wait if the matchup is next week, Vikings at Niners. Oh baby, like I can't wait to get 6 points for the Vikings next week. But I'm not going to count our chickens before they hatch. But speaking of hatch, let me put this Moscow Mule down there.
It's easy. It's easy to. I think it's easy to overrate the impact of that bye week. I do. I think it's easy to overrate it. In the in the Chiefs case, especially, I think, because they were already so healthy. In the Eagles case, not so much, right? They really needed that week. They needed it.
That's an understatement. It's not even enough. I mean, I hope it is, but
it might not be enough. We'll see.
Man, if we win this year, dude, that is going to be the most Philadelphia fucking team of all time. Like raw knuckled fucking, ribs protruding out of your chest, kind of like if the Birds can pull it out this year, it's going to be the most gutsiest fucking bare bones performance ever.
And I guess they would play. Well, we don't know who else is going to win. Okay, but yeah.
When you just look at that Vikings offense and what they could do,
yeah.
And I know Hawkinson's not really showing himself too well, but like they have talent everywhere now, even at tight end.
They do, man. They're a little bit limited by Cousins, right? He just doesn't.
I just think that they're like an excited kid that you just need to wrap up a little bit. Keep the excitement in the kid. He should have fun being a kid, him or her, but they just don't need to act like a jitbag all the time. It's like, just get it together. You can have fun every second of every day. Just stop spazzing out, you freak. Okay. And that's what the Vikings offense is. Like, just pace yourself a little bit here or there. Take a breath so you're not napping from 12 to 3 in the afternoon. Like, take the whole day and pace yourself and enjoy the whole fucking sun up. You know what I mean?
You like that?
Thanks, Kirk. I mean, we now, by the way, just to let you know, if you guys are looking for any more picks or anything, like this is time to end the podcast. Woody and I are really excited about the NFL playoffs. And instead of us doing this off air, as Joe O'Brien of Glass Cannon would say, this is probably our overtime session where we're just we don't want to leave yet.
We're vamping.
We're very attractive people, and we want to keep looking at each other via webcam. And yeah, we could just talk anything all day. And right now it's football and Super Bowl. I mean, how exciting is it? This lineup that's coming. Like, there's some good fucking games. There's going to be an upset. There's going to be a big upset. Let's do that. Oh no, wait, that's more dungeon talk. All right, Woody, maybe we should end this and let people stay on the edge of their seat for Saturday morning.
Let's end it, because I actually have things to say about every game, but I want to save some of them for the dungeon. So
well put. Giddy up. All right. Well,
just let's do a quick recap. So
wait, I wanted to know real quick. I did say, give me an off the wall one, which, by the way, people would probably think Chiefs Vikings is. Give me an off the wall one that you could see happening.
Well,
I'll give mine real quick.
Go ahead, do yours first. I have one, but go ahead.
I'm gonna say, now this is super fucking, because everybody's talking about Tommy.
Yeah,
but what if? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Mine would be Cincy over Tampa.
Yeah. That's very off the wall, right?
Yeah.
That Brady, through this singular this one person's will, it's like this.
Like, wouldn't Joe Burrow be the guy to beat Tom Brady?
Yeah, he would do it. It would do it with a smile on his face while Brady's scowling.
That's plus 11,000 on DraftKings.
It's great. That's great. That's a great off the wall.
I might just do something just because I said yeah.
That's a great off the wall one. Mine. mine is almost it's almost the same thing basically. It's plus 9,000. It's Brady to beat the Bills. So the idea being that if he's good enough to get all the way there, and presumably if that were to happen, that means that the Bucks D, which is been solid all year, although not dominant, but they've been pretty solid for much of the year. They haven't been dominant the way they were the last 2 years, but maybe they could find something, and and then he's just willing them to win in the fourth quarters and whatever. It just keeps happening over and over. And then so the idea would be then they get to the Bills, and with all of their talent, the Bills just kind of choke. God just kind of choke it away. Tom Brady, right? Tom Brady against a guy in his first Super Bowl. Basically, the smart money would not really be on Brady because he's not on the more talented team. But in some ways, the smart money would be on fucking Brady, right? So it's fun. It's fun. It's plus 9,000. It's fun.
I'm putting something on both of those, by the way.
You could do $1 to win $90. It's not that crazy.
That's a fun one there. Yeah. But giddy up. See, that's a nice way to end this. I'm really excited about the playoffs in general for this show. And then, of course, with the dungeon now, we didn't have that the last 2 seasons. Just a tremendous outlet for, you're going to get your straight picks too, because the other cats are going to give some, and we will too. We're going to give some evergreen picks, but then we get in some fun props. We're going to keep getting that juice. It's the best. That show's amazing. So, Degenerate Dungeon. Twitch.tv/GCN Employee Lounge. Stop by on Saturday morning, because some of you might be like, I can't do Sundays. I'm at church, I'm at work, I'm at whatever. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. If this might be the time for you to catch it. Let's do it.
Juice me, Daddy.
That didn't have the... Sounds like you had some juice. I mean, I need a little... need a little more... Not necessarily base, just focus.
Yeah. It was unfocused. It was unfocused.
Woodman, I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. It was fun.
Happy NFL playoffs to you.
Happy playoffs.
And find sharp jumpers out there. We appreciate everybody. At Jump the Sharp on Twitter, on YouTube. Give us a search. Give us a subscribe piece. Yo, if you listen to this podcast and you have never gone to your whatever, Spotify, Apple, the whole nine, and not rated us, that'd be great. If you could just give a little 5-star piece. We don't really whore them out, but we would love it. And just let some people know about the show, right?
I'll just point out too, dude, like, just, you say it, but like, just think about it. Both of our picks, Vikings -3, Bengals -9. We are jumping the sharp, baby. Come on.
Jumping the sharp. Except for those Jags. We'll just fucking take that money all day.
The money. Give me the money.
All right, let's get that money. Woodman, let's go have some fun.
Best
NFL
luck, boys.
Style.
Yes.
NFL playoff style. For the Woodman, I'm your boy Hollywood, saying let's go have some playoff fun. Peace the fuck out. Dungeon on Saturday morning.